Good day, and thank you for tuning in to a Minute for Ministry. I'm your host, Minister RQ. Thank you for watching Cornerstone Wednesday. I want to again say hello to the youth ministry at Cornerstone IBC Memphis, boys to men, JC girls, and Jewels for Christ. We miss you all. We hope that you are taking the time to enjoy these videos dedicated to you. There was little to no feedback last week on the show topic, death. That was probably to be expected. The thing is, it's going to occur, and most of the time people do not like discussing or even bringing up in conversation things that don't feel good to us. The key to last week and the overall message that I would have hoped that you all got was that death is going to happen, so today is important. The moment is important to us all, and living in the moment sometimes can create a sense of anxiety. It can create a sense of angst. Depending on where you're from and what's going on in your life, sometimes it can create nervousness and a lot of negative interactions. But what I want you all to understand is that those are chosen emotions. The moment is also filled with joy. It's filled with love. It's filled with care for those who are around you, your family and friends, things of that nature, when you're dealing with living in the moment. There's nothing wrong with living in the moment, but tomorrow will occur, and for those that it does occur for, planning is always a good thing to have. With many of you being shut in, I can imagine that there is a lot of time on your hand that would typically have been spent doing things that you want to do out in the world, visiting your friends, going out to restaurants, things of that nature. So I would like to think that somewhere in this time that you have where you're shut in and away from the world of normalcy that you are used to, that you're doing some planning for the future when everything begins to open back up here in your city. So being spontaneous, it's okay sometimes, but it's not something that you want to live by. It's not something that you want to just base your life upon, because planning is also a positive thing to have, even when you're shut in like you are now. So we're going to take this particular day and talk about planning and the benefits of them, but more than anything, what the Word of God says about planning and what it should mean to us today as we go forward in a time of being closed in and shut away from the reality of the world. We're going to start with Luke 14:28, the ESV version. For which of you desiring to build a tower does not first sit down and count the cost, whether he has enough to complete it? And the NLT version I like says, but don't begin until you count the cost. For who will begin construction of a building without first calculating the cost to see if there's enough money to finish it? Okay, now we know how many times we've been lit and just cranked up to start something new and get right into something that we wanted to do, only to find out that, hey, this is asking a lot of me. This is taking a lot of my money, a lot of my time. I don't think I want to finish this. Here's where planning comes in, and it does us all some good to take a look ahead while we're planning to do those things that we want to do. So we all know that you guys are waiting at home and you can't wait to get out and go to the pool or start studying for school. Whatever it is, there's some planning that would do you well to have done in advance. What this verse says is to look ahead is okay, but first of all, it's best to know what you're about to buy into. Many of you, again, are looking forward to going in head first and doing a number of things, but we ask that you look ahead to see what it's going to take to complete those things that you are planning to do. What is the cost? And it's not always money. What will it take overall for you to complete your goal? How much time? How will it affect others that love you? And how important is it to you? Essentially, look ahead of what the plan is to see what it's going to take out of you for you to have it done, so that you're not spinning your wheels taking the time to do something that's not fruitful for you. Proverbs 21:5, ESV. The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty. Essentially, don't be impatient in your planning. Don't be anxious for anything. Life is going to happen, and you're going to gain experience just by each day of your life going forward and living. That being said, you don't want to do things where you change your mind all the time. You decide to do this, you change your mind, you want to do that. It's good to dive in and to experience things and to try things to see where you're going with your life, because many times we don't know what we want to do. There are people twice and 3 times your age, even right now. They don't know what they want to do with their lives. And a lot of that comes from them not planning or not having an ideal. And this is where prayer, supplication, and trying to go forward in God first versus doing things on your own and within your own flesh. It's good to have a plan that is spiritually based. So as we go forward, doing things that have very little to any personal value are things that we want to stay away from. We tend to welcome heartache when we do things without planning. We tend to welcome a lot of anxiety. We tend to bring about a lot of frustration when we try to do things, but there are no plans that we had set forth for that. So going on without a plan is a plan to not going on to be better. Isaiah 32:8, the International Children's Bible says, "But a good leader plans good things to do, and those good things make him a good leader." Now, good in this text is not subjective as what you may think is good, but it means liberal, noble, having a big heart. So when you're planning, ask yourself, who benefits from whatever it is that you're planning on doing? Does it say more about you doing for you, or are you doing for others? The answers to these questions make your reputation to be a better one if they usually lead out to the benefit of God and the kingdom that God wishes to establish. So give power to your plans by having plans that seek God and the kingdom more than that of your own personal world. With that being said, we hope that you are having a good time at home as much as you can, and that you are planning to go forward with some positive light and looking forward to something that is going to be great as the city opens back up to you. So we're going to visit a few of you all and have a discussion about what being shut in has done to you, and have you increased your planning? Have you decided on what it is that you want to look forward to doing once everything opens up? And we hope to show those videos to you next week. In the meantime, I hope that you enjoyed A Minute for Ministry and Cornerstone Wednesday. We ask that you take in stride each day, because today is the only day that we have to live, and these moments are what make memories for later on. Go forth with faith and happiness in your life, enjoying this day, for this is the day that the Lord has made. We thank you for joining A Minute for Ministry and Cornerstone Wednesday. Look forward to seeing you next week. Take the time to hit the like button and subscribe. But more than anything, share with your family and friends as we try to bring the message of God to you and all of those who you love. I'm R.Q. Hule, and thank you for tuning in to A Minute for Ministry. Have a blessed day. This day I will cherish, for here I am, soon to be gone, knowing only one to be eternal and time to never pass. As it comes and goes, it hides and then shows. Though when and where and if it will begin again, not a one but the one knows, when the time is in the end.